Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade
in
in
the
the
City.
City.
I'm Treese.
It's Nels.
And thank you guys for joining us for episode 14 of what I was about to say before the 90 days. Jesus Christ. Married at First Sight.
They're all
All
running
these shows
together.
are running together right now, guys. So bear with me. But thank you guys for joining us. Please make sure that you hit that like button as you're coming in and make sure that you should subscribe. What is going on tonight, y'all? Anyway, clearly I need some wine. I ain't had none yet. Maybe that's
I was about to say maybe you started too early.
Don't do that. I ain't even started. So thank you guys, and let's get into it, and let's see these couples on this retreat and get shady.
Decision day is 2 weeks away.
13 days to be exact. 13 days.
You ain't count down the days. You count down the. I mean, you count down the
No,
weeks,
that's what they put on the
days.
screen. 13 days to a decision day. I'm just saying.
Christ.
I'm just trying to be accurate with my reviews. I'm just saying.
To be accurate.
So the couples are going on a retreat together, as we know, and they're getting packed and ready to go. And we see everybody, Olajuwon's picking with Katina, like, are you going to cook for everybody on the retreat? Are you going to make, now that they're newfound cooking skills? And I was like, you're an asshole, Olajuwon. You're an asshole. You really are.
No, I don't want to cook. And first of all, Olajuwon, don't nobody cook on vacation. Where they do that at?
Right. I can't wait to see him get behind the kitchen. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we saw it. Didn't we see him cook? She said he cooks.
Okay. Everybody's getting in their cars, packing up, and we see Lindsey and Mark riding around, joking. She's giving him wet willies and discussing. And then he's like, well, that's nasty. Please stop doing that. He really has an issue with her touching him.
I think okay, no, I agree.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would have an issue with the wet willy too, but it just seems like he'd be like, stop touching me. Like, so anyway, so then he jokes because Lindsey's like, oh, my boyfriend used to live off this exit. And he's like, you've said that every exit since we've been driving. He's like, clearly we see who has commitment issues. I said, well, damn, here come Mark with that fire.
But he put it that way.
Right.
Anybody else would have said something totally different.
Yeah. Look, you might not have been for the streets, but you were for the exits. So then Jasmina is looking forward to taking a nap the majority of the way because we all know she still ain't got her permit and is not ready to drive. So Michael will be driving the whole way. And he's like, you're not going to sleep. And what I thought was the cutest part is as they're driving, they see a sign. I guess it's like deer crossing. What we see over here in Maryland is like, no, there's a moose, like mooses ahead. And I was like, can I tell y'all something? That is not my thing. That is not my thing. I barely can deal with a deer. Now I'm thinking about a moose running in the middle of the road.
I think I would lose my shit either way.
Right. So, but then he basically gets deep with her and he says that he feels like they're in a really good place. And just basically wants to kind of, gauge where they're at. And he gives her like a number scale. And he's like, well, I feel like we're doing good, but like on a level 1 being enemies and I can't stand you, and 5 being like, oh, we're a happy medium.
Like the middle, yeah.
And then 10 being Will and Jada. And I said, poor Mike, this came out before all this stuff happened. You don't want to be Will and Jada right now. You don't want to be Will and Jada. But we knew what he meant. Bless his heart. We knew what he meant.
Because I'm sure when they recorded this is after entanglement, Will and Jada.
That's true. That's true. And Jasmine just thinks this Aggie as fuck. And she's like, okay, bro. Okay, you're pushing. But she lets us know that she's at a 5. And he's like, well, if that's where you are, how do you feel approaching decision day? And she's like, well, I needed to move. She's like, I don't think that the chemistry has to be all there, but I need to get past this midway point in order for me to say yes. And I was just like, well, damn, talk about tough cookie.
Bad. She's not saying she has to be a 10, but she's like, I need to be past in the middle.
But she says this every episode, and I feel like they've been doing so much better, and you're still sitting at a 5.
Now that I agree with you on.
Okay.
I agree with her that she needs to be past a 5 in order to say yes on the
And I'm not saying that, but I just feel like she's been sitting in this middle ground.
But I do
a minute now.
Well, I'll give her a few weeks. She's been sitting in the middle point because remember in the very beginning, I think she was really at a 0.
At a 1, yeah. Not even
a 1.
Yeah,
like she
0.
was like, so I think right now she's been teetering in the middle for a little while. And, you know, I think she just wants to feel like, is it safe to move out of this?
Right.
Is he going to switch up? You know, I don't know. But I do feel like he has put in his work, and I felt like he does deserve to be a little past that middle.
Right. Can we at least get a 6? I mean, damn.
Let me say, out of everyone, out of all the couples, I feel like Michael has put his work in. He put it in. And it was genuine.
Then I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I didn't even catch everything that happened. Noi and Steve are on their way, and Steve decides to bring up the conversation about the social media. He feels like they're doing well. They feel like their conversation about finances went very well. And they've
gotten closer since then.
Right. And so he's just trying to gauge, and he's like, but what about how I feel about the social media? I feel like that was never addressed. And she's like, well, no, I addressed it, and I told you that it wasn't about you. And he's like, but regardless, it's the perception. That's Steve's problem. It's the perception. Whereas Noi feels like, well, fuck a perception, because you know how I feel. So why do you care what everybody else thinks? And I can understand Noi, but I feel like if Steve were to do the same thing to her, Noi would get sushi so fast and run home and be mad and upset. So
I can understand to a certain extent if that's how you expressed yourself when you were single.
Right.
But if you have your husband, your partner, telling you and expressing to you in a respectful way.
And he says, it hurts me. And it's like
it hurts
you don't
me.
care.
It's hurting our relationship. This is not something that I can deal with. And I really want this type of privacy in our marriage. This is not something I can deal with. And the fact that you're just like, I don't give a fuck is like, so like really all that matters is what you want. And you need to feel comfortable. You need to feel safe, but really fuck how I feel. And she's just like, okay, that's great. Got me fucked up.
Right. Noi, it's not what it's
hitting. Like, guess what, bitch? You ain't got to worry about my finances no more.
Right. And then we learned that Noi just does not want to address the situation on the retreat. She feels like it's not going to get anywhere by her discussing with the other couples. And what it is Noi knows that she doesn't want everybody to chime in. Right. Just like she didn't appreciate it. She listened, but just like she didn't want to hear it from Dr. Pepper or Pastor Cal. She wants to live in this world where she's like, no, I'm right. You're wrong. And even if I am wrong, I'm right. So I don't know.
But that's the thing. It's like, you're not just having a experienced married person telling you this, right? You're having an experienced married person who is also a pastor and therapist tell you that this is not good for
your relationship, right?
And you're just like, I said, that's the type of shit that will have you doing what you want to do alone.
That part. If you think you're lonely now,
what?
Wait until when? Decision day, girl.
Men are in the kitchen cooking where they should be. And apparently,
well, really, Steve is in the kitchen cooking. The men are innocent bystanders.
Steve is doing most of the work, but all of the men are cooking. They're trying to contribute.
Michael is putting water in a pot, and Mark is talking about how he makes a mean cereal. And Olajuwon is just commenting on what they need to
on
add.
Everybody else's cooking, basically.
Right.
He basically believes that everybody can cook except for Michael, because apparently he gave some raw shrimp when he made pasta before. I don't know. But Michael already lost some points with me because he's breaking the pasta into the boiling water. I don't know where this was learned. I don't know why, as young adults, we were doing this, but it's literally no need. So then they get into discussions about, of course, their relationship. And Mark is talking about Lindsey, talking about, she's a great partner and how she's always there for him. While on the other hand, Lindsey, while they're in the hot tub, might I remind you, she's basically saying that Mark is like a full-time job. And
I gotta take care of mama. I gotta take care of him. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And we know this to be true. Elijah Wine says that he noticed that Michael and Jasmina got a little closer. He's like, yeah, we did. It's rough though. It took some work.
And I love when O even said, I was praying for y'all. I said, oh, look at Elijah Wine. That's right.
Lindsey said that she also noticed that Jasmina and Michael were doing good and have come a long way. And Jasmina does say, they're doing a lot better. And she even noticed that he's trying. And I'm glad she said that, because I thought we were the only
ones. Still sitting in the middle.
I thought we were the only ones noticing.
Right.
So basically, Jasmine is up here talking shit about Lindsey, talking about how she's dramatic as fuck and all this other stuff, because she's complaining about all the shit that she's got to deal with Mark. And normally I'm not necessarily all the way here with Lindsey, because Lindsey do be doing a lot, but I mean, with all the shit that Lindsey has had to put up with compared to all the other couples, I feel like she got the short end of the stick. She got the chicken finger man.
And that's what she even said. She said, y'all, I didn't sign up for this shit. I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I signed up for.
So then, everybody comes in to sit down for dinner. Michael says that, they were all supposed to cook dinner, but really Steve did all the cooking.
Yeah. And then he says that.
And Steve actually told us that this is something he does all the time, 5 days a week. This is what he do. He cooked, he cleaned, he paid the bills. I'm not sure exactly what Noi was complaining about. Why she feels like she deserves more. I mean, let's not get this twisted. Everybody deserves more than what they're getting, but to the point where you're posting that shit on social media where it's like you're not getting a good dude, I don't know. Everybody can do better, but I don't know. No, it sounds like you're winning, boo. Most men that are the breadwinner, right? Whether they're physically going outside the home to make the money or they're in the home making the money, they usually still expect you to do half the shit that he's doing. They usually expect you
the majority because they're the breadwinner.
Elijah Wan.
Right.
For instance. And the fact that he's doing it with no problem. He's on vacation doing it. Like,
okay.
But I mean, who the fuck am I, right? So Jasmine actually made a comment, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. She says, when people hear that you broke the pasta, you are going to be judged. Michael, I am judging you.
We judged you, Mike.
I most certainly did. I am judging your ass. So then Katina asked, who really needed this vacay? Like, who needed this getaway, like, to bond? And Lindsey makes a comment saying, she makes a joke like, no one will be, you won't be leaving this weekend, and starts laughing like a crazy person. I think she actually scared the entire table. Mm-hmm. So everyone notices Jasmina and Mike's energy.
Right? Like, they're sitting closer together. They're just
I'm loving it. I'm loving it because I wanted you guys together from the beginning. Okay. And this is what you're giving.
Right.
I appreciate you for putting the time and energy in. And I love the fact that Jasmine is noticing, because I was worried that she really wasn't. Also, so Lindsey talks about the issues that, that her and Mark had. And, she just says like, it was like a little blip in their relationship. But, they moved on. Apparently, Elijah has never heard this term, blip, because he's like, oh, I'm going to steal that from you. And she's like, yes, I'm a trendsetter, but you're not. Fuck hasn't heard blip. Like, where the fuck planet do you hail from? The hell? So,
I've never heard that before. Nikki and Coi Leray said it. I never heard
blip. You've never heard blip, like a mistake?
No.
So apparently, Katina says that, her and Elijah, well, was it Katina that said it or Elijah? Either way, they both agreed that they're doing much better.
I love this scene.
Elijah gives the credit to Katina. He's like, our relationship wouldn't be able to go as smooth as it is if it weren't for her. And I was just like,
and he even says that I've learned, he said, this is the first relationship where I'm not the leader. And he basically says that that's okay. I've learned that that's okay, that I'm not the leader and I can follow my wife's lead. I'm here for it, Elijah. I'm here for it.
So then they asked Noy and Steve, like, how have y'all been? And Steve is like, feel comfortable talking about it?
You want to talk about
it? Noy's like, nope. Mm-mm. Nope, I'd rather not.
What I thought was so crazy, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not saying Shade Squad, hear me out. I'm not saying Noy is right. But what I'm saying, even if I'm wrong, if you were to put me in that situation, because he says to her, well, I just don't understand the difference between you sharing with social media. Why can't you share with this group of people that you know? I said, well, damn, Steve.
I missed that.
Damn. Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, I don't get the difference.
I know the difference.
Because these motherfuckers know you and will tell you about yourself.
And will get up in your motherfucking ass and tell you dead ass wrong.
I was like, damn, Steve. And that would have made me mad. If you said that in front of me, I'd be like, really? Really? And that's why she was like, no, I don't want to. Because
why would that make you mad? He's right. He's 100% right.
He's like, so you can talk to the world, you can talk to social media, but you can't talk to these people that you actually know.
And you're doing it on a public platform where a lot more people can see it and hear it. So why is it an issue that we're talking to it at dinner with just a few other people? I didn't see anything wrong with what he said. I wouldn't have gave 2 fucks if she caught an attitude.
Well, that's clearly what she did. And Noy lets him know that she is not talking about it or addressing the situation.
I would have just been like, oh, well, I don't think it's an issue because you talk about it on social media. So what's the problem with talking about it in front of our friends?
What happened?
I said, I wish he would have just been like, so I don't see the problem. You talk about it on social media in front of everybody.
No, that's what he said.
No, and still would have talked about it.
Oh, I was going to say because he was like,
he still gave her the respect and was still whispering and stuff.
Yeah, he's still.
So, I wish he would have got louder and was like, but you talking about it on social media.
He would have hit a Olajuwon on her. I can respect Steve for not being Olajuwon, even if she was wrong. I can respect him for not going at her at that dinner table like he could have, and probably had every reason to, where Olajuwon maybe didn't have as much of a leg to stand on. Steve definitely had it. It was definitely the platform. Everybody was talking about their shit. So but he handled himself very well. And
I respect it. I just wish he would have done different. I wish he would have been like, there's no difference. Why not talk about it in front of our friends? You talk about it for the world to see.
Right. And then
let's talk about it.
we see all the couples getting ready to get in bed, and Lindsey's fondling Mark, and Michael and Jess, everybody's going to bed. But it's crazy because as Noy and Steve get ready to go to bed, this is what I love about him, even in when he can, I guess because I have a petty dude. So even in his pettiness,
Jesus.
I know he knows he's petty, especially when he's mad. He's petty as fuck. So there would be no way that my dude being petty would be like, hey, babe, I know this is your side of the bed. I know you. He'd like, fuck your side of the bed. He would probably sleep on it purposely just to piss me off, just to like, he might piss on that side of the bed. He might do some really petty shit.
It was cute that he was the one that actually offered it. He was like, hey, I know earlier you said you wanted to be on the left side of the bed. Do you still want that? You want to swap? Versus her having to ask for it.
Right.
He's like, yeah, let's go ahead. And then she didn't even want to hug on him. He's like, can we cuddle? Like,
can we cuddle? He's like, I don't see, now that's me. I don't like to go to bed, man. Even when I'm mad at you, I don't like to go to bed, man. We got to fake like we like each other to the morning. We see Jasmina and Michael, and they're talking about the day ahead. We see Lindsey poking with Mark and, little stuff. Lajuan and Katina talking about they're going to run around with some animals. Very short scenes. But Jasmina and Michael, I thought this was important to touch on because they're going to visit a medium. He says that he's never done this before. He was actually most excited for field day. But, this is something that maybe I think Jasmina suggested to him, and getting deeper and, going into each other's past and where they can go and what their future might look like. And basically he's like, I'm open, and whatever she says, if I don't fuck with it, I won't take it. And if I do, okay. And Jasmina's like, it doesn't really work like that because, she may bring up some things that only you would know about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is going to be interesting. I don't necessarily believe in that type of stuff.
I think he had the impression it's kind of like a psychic, and
that's what I get.
Yeah, and it's not. She said after watching, shows with a medium, it does seem very real. They'll say things that,
Oh, a medium. So that's the person. Okay.
Who really speaks with the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Yes. So they'll say things that maybe, like nicknames or something like they used to call you, or just certain situations that, only you know about. So to say, hey, I'm here, I'm actually here speaking with this medium, and let you know that it is a real thing. So
no, okay. You know what?
I would love to say that I didn't believe it.
I went to psychic, but I cannot lie. I have watched Long Island Medium. I actually can appreciate it. And I think that that's dope because sometimes people, me, myself, I grieve very hard and differently than most people. Sometimes you need that closure. Mm-hmm. So, hey, if that's what he needs from his brother, from his whatever, I hope that it works for him. And I hope we actually.
And I love to see when multiple family members come to speak to the medium.
Right.
So hopefully he does get that closure from all the
loss that he's had. Right. Mm-hmm. So so hats off to Jasmina for even thinking of this, because that wouldn't have been the first thing at the top of my head. So kudos, Jasmina. So then we get to Lindsey and Mark. She is trying to wake this man up. Like I said, she's poking at him. Just as Nell said, she came off
childish.
I'm not gonna lie, she came off like my son when he wakes me up and mommy, juice, milk. Like that's what it gave.
I just feel like there's like a time and a place to be like funny and childish and cute. But when I'm just waking up, that's not the time.
I can agree with you because I'm not that person either.
Like we need to go alone.
And so basically Mark is like, and as I told y'all at the beginning of this review, I said, he's like, get off me. Why are you doing? And I was like, yeah, it gives me the vibe that Mark is like, can you please like give me my space?
Kind of annoying.
So once
she's kind of annoying.
She can be, yes. So once he finally gets up, they go outside to have coffee. They're talking about their plans for the day. And he basically says that they're going to engage in a sound bath, which I have been wanting to do for a very long time. So I can't wait to see this experience, if we get to see this experience, because Mark makes a point to say, I just thought it would be good to kind of calm the day because you're so hyper sometimes. And she gets offended and it's like, you don't have to be rude. And she walks.
Don't understand where he went wrong.
She tries to walk away, and he's like, he was like, I wasn't trying to be offensive. It was basically a joke. And then, yeah, when he tries to joke with her and he says it's funny, he wasn't funny, ha ha, or he. And he was like, well, ha ha. Like he was trying to be the corny, childish, meet her on her level, and she didn't think it was cute.
It's, I love that you just said that, because I was just about to say that Lindsey jokes and plays so much, but she can't take that shit. And I'm not saying that he was joking, right? I'm not saying that it was an actual, I don't think it was an actual joke, but I think that he was trying to like say it in a funny way. Like, yeah, you're hyper, you're like you're alive. She really is. But I don't think he was trying to be malicious. I think it was just like, yeah, like just to calm you down. Like kind of like a joke. You know what I mean? But she dishes that shit, but she cannot fucking take it.
So that's true. So Lindsey gets upset. She shuts down. She's uninterested in the conversation. And she feels like there's a difference between making fun and making rude comments. And she felt that comment was rude. She feels like Mark is continuously taking digs at her, and she's losing her patience with him. And she says she feels like a punching bag.
So Olajuwon takes Katina to go play with the alpacas. And oh my God, let me tell you something. So apparently 15 minutes before they got there, a little baby alpaca was born. And I thought the dude was exaggerating, like 15 minutes before, but literally you can see like the blood kind of on the baby alpaca, and the mother was still delivering the placenta. So he was not exaggerating. Literally the baby was just born. But
see, I noticed none of that. I just saw the baby like trying to get up on his legs, and I was like, "That's so cute." It was on some like Bambi stuff.
When you said, I thought you meant you didn't notice the placenta.
I didn't notice all that.
You didn't see the placenta hanging out?
No, I was so focused on the baby trying to get up on his legs. That was
so okay. It was past that scene. Literally, they focused in on the placenta coming out this alpaca's whole coochie. I was just like, yo, why is Lifetime showing this? Like, yeah, they showed it. Mm-hmm. And apparently
they compete with TLC for cringe-worthy scenes, but go ahead.
And to add to it, Olajuwon says that he was freaked out mainly because the guy says that the dogs are probably going to eat it. What the fuck is this? We just want to watch people fall in love. We didn't sign, like, I feel like Lindsey, I didn't sign up for this.
What the fuck? Now we're on some Discovery Channel shit, Planet Earth. What the fuck?
So then they get to walk the alpacas. And Olajuwon, God, you know what? I'm not going to call him that. But Olajuwon says he is having, so he's like, what am I walking? A gazebo? What, sir?
Gazebo. A gazebo stands still, Olajuwon. It doesn't move.
The fuck you mean? A gazebo? The hell? And then he was like, oh, no, that's not it. A llama.
I'm not gonna lie, I did think it was a llama. I did think it was
You are so in love with animals. You are taking your wife to go play with animals, and you are calling these alpacas gazebos and llamas. Sir, get it together. Get it together. Regardless, he loves the fact that Katina is engaging in the animals, and they're having a great time. He loves seeing her. He said it's super sexy, super attractive that she is actually engaging with these animals, and he knows this is completely out of her comfort zone.
He was really turned on by that, y'all.
You know, it's nice. It's serious. I can understand where he's coming from, because it's nice to see somebody get out of their comfort zone and they're doing it for you. Mm-hmm. That's really what the turn on is.
But then that
effort. So then they sit down for picnic, cheese and crackers, and look like some wine. And you know, she lets him know like that she wants to have a deeper conversation about their future.
Right.
So I felt like this was the time to like be like loving and like endearing and you know, and Elijah one took this time to say to talk about her plan for 2 years. So you want to have a kid in 2 years? Yeah. But when do you graduate again? 2 years? Yeah, that's not gonna work because what about your career? Now you ain't gonna be able to get into your career. So how you gonna have a kid in 2 years? I'm not about to put all that stress on me. So
I'm not gonna lie. I think, hear me out, because when you're in a real relationship, I wouldn't even say marriage, but when y'all live together and y'all, that's real conversations that needs to be had. I know you don't want to mess up the mood, but he was having the responsible conversation, and sometimes I don't know.
okay, Trace, I understand having this responsible conversation. You know, I am okay with being straightforward and getting to it, right?
Right.
But you were just talking about how sexy and attractive I am because I'm getting out of my comfort zone. You just saw me in a different zone, like with the alpacas, and then you want to fuck up the mood by talking about our difference in opinion. No, when I said life, our future, I meant like growing old together. Maybe I see us sitting on a front porch, like you know what I mean, like old as fuck, probably talking about the kids playing in the front, like you know what I mean,
Right.
like some nice shit. Nigga, we can deal with that shit some other time. Like this, I just felt like that wasn't the time for it. And
I
then
get
they
what
get
you're
in,
saying.
then they get into oh, we're he's like, well, the last 5 years, I didn't do anything. I just got my life together and I paid my bills, got my house and shit like that. And I understand that you didn't do that and you're trying to do that now. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not coming at you, but now that you're just getting your life together, um, I want you to continue that. Like, I don't want you to just, finish college, have a baby, and then everything is on me. And then he talks about them traveling, and she's like, I know what I'm capable of, what I can do. And it did kind of seem like he was coming at her a little bit. I just felt like it was the wrong time, wrong place. This is supposed to be
I
something
understand
romantic.
that should have been that. You don't do that while we're on a retreat on vacation. Like, I feel like that deeper conversation comes when you go home and it's like, hey, let's just go back and revisit what we were talking about.
Exactly. You don't fuck up. And I felt like that actually could have been a great time for them to possibly, cross that line and maybe be intimate because he saw another side of her. She would have seen another side of him, but
I
no,
was
he's got to
thinking
be
that
his.
same thing, and I said, "Well, he done fucked that up because if I don't know about you, but that would have made my dry as a desert."
Like, so, Steve and Noy, the adventure seekers, they go to a theme park for their date. It seems like they had a lot of fun. Um, then I don't know what's going on with these guys today. Apparently, they just want to fuck up the moods. I don't know. I don't know. This
They
is the
want to talk about
time.
serious, yeah.
This is the time to have fun and enjoy yourselves, okay? But Steve brings up the social media conversation. And of course, Noy really still doesn't want to talk about it.
And she's annoyed. Why are we still talking about this?
And, I guess Steve feels like he's still talking about it because there's no resolution, which I can understand that.
My
I just don't
feelings
think.
were hurt. You didn't address it. You're brushing it off, which lets me know that you could do this again.
So I understand why he wants to talk about it. I just think that there's a better time and place. But he does bring up the point that, she's free to talk about whatever she wants on social media, regardless of how it makes him feel. But he couldn't talk about whatever he wanted to because of her feelings in regards to this whole social media conversation. And she's like, well, you brought it up. And he's like, no, but I didn't. I asked you, is it okay to talk about it? But we didn't speak on it at all. Now, what he didn't tell her was that he was talking to the guys about it. That's what he didn't tell her. But that look, that ain't my business. And she just basically
my water and mine.
mind your business. So she basically says, you know, they're still learning to trust each other. And they kind of leave it there. Then Mark, you know, he made a fire trying to make up with Lindsey. And she's like, you know, I'm still not happy with you. Like, just girl, just sit down and enjoy this fire. Like,
right?
Just come on now. What the fuck? And Lindsey tells him that she feels like he's more negative than positive. And you know, he says that he didn't mean to upset her. Like, really, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. And
Mark is actually getting annoyed. He's like, you know what? I feel like she does this and flips the script, and now I have to deal with this Lindsey mood all day, and basically me kissing her ass because
give
she's
him this whole spiel about how it made her feel. And he's like, you got all of that from that small interaction upstairs? And she's like, yeah. So yeah, you know, he was annoyed. So basically he apologized for upsetting her, and she's just like, thank you. Then we have Jasmina and Michael who meet with the medium, and of like watching stuff like this. Literally, like, I love watching stuff like this. So she brings up the fact about you know, like there's like a 3 to 5 year like she didn't know what it was. But apparently, I'm guessing the brother passed when he was either between 3 to 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
So Michael is just kind of like what? Like the fuck? And then she says there's like a 3-year age gap. And you know, apparently the brother was shot in the chest. She sees some type of trauma.
Oh no, it's a 13-year age gap. She brought up the number 13, and he was like, what is it? And he was like, there we were 13 years apart.
Yes, excuse my theory, y'all. She doesn't necessarily listen to me. You know, I'll say things, and you know, I'm just reading what she wrote. I'm just reading what Theory wrote.
Mine do the same thing, but go ahead. I didn't correct us because they will. That's just how. And make sure you like the video if you haven't already, and hit the subscribe.
And subscribe.
Go ahead.
She did say that, you know, the brother is connecting with him through his dreams, and apparently it took him some time to I guess get to the other side. Apparently she brings up prostate cancer, and I guess the dad died from prostate cancer. Jasmina even got emotional and was concerned about how what the medium was saying was going to affect Michael. She was concerned, which I thought was
right.
And now the medium is talking about their future because she bring up twins. They're like, he's like, no, we got triplets. We ain't got no twins, and a lot of boys.
And Jasmina tells us she's always desired to have twins.
And the medium sees twins in a year and a half. Oh, stick with it, boo. Stick with it. She tells them that she sees that they're gonna live in a real sunny place, like California.
They're gonna have a boat.
She was like, money, the hell. So she also lets them know that they have a beautiful bond, and that he fell in love with her from the first time he saw her. It was literally like love at first sight, which I thought
was super cute because it definitely seemed like it.
She really feels like they're supposed to be together, and she lets them know that if they do not stay together, Michael is going to take about 5 years to find something like Jasmina, and Jasmina would find someone next year, but she will definitely regret leaving this marriage because she'll realize that she really did love him. So I felt like that was a super successful scene.
No, I thought it was a good scene. I was like, oh, I was happy that they, you know, he did that. I think it did give him, it helped him. It really,
I would think personally that would make them closer.
I was going to say, and I definitely think that made them closer. So hopefully it'll be going down. You see Lindsey and Mark, and she, I guess, decided after she got over her stuff to actually, I would say sit down and do the sound bath, but they were laying down, which I thought was super therapeutic. It looked awesome. I definitely want to try it now. And then basically Lindsey let us know as they were doing this activity, and she was, you know, still and in the moment, it brought back feelings and the presence of her grandfather. And it just, you know, it literally brought her to tears, and she basically lets us know that he was such a strong and independent and kind of stubborn man. And difficult was the word that she used. And she said, and it's so foreshadowing when she ends up with a man like Mark. So I thought that was super. I thought that was good. I think that it was needed for her and Mark, especially after all the tension. And hopefully it'll just bring her down a bit and just help her recenter herself. I think we all need that at sometimes. So that was cool to see. We see Michael and Jasmina just giving big couple energy, okay? They out here with the matching t-shirts. They're hosting field day. It was really fucking cute. Like it was adorable. You cannot tell me that she is not falling for this man. It was adorable.
I think you're right. I think she is, but maybe because of their past, she's a little afraid to say so. She's afraid to admit it and afraid to say so.
And just the one thing that I could say between them two that maybe I don't see in any of our other couples, maybe because they did take so long and they went through so much, but it genuinely seems like they have a good friendship. Like they're goofy with each other, like they bounce. It was just really super dope. Like I was just like, I love their energy together. So basically the first game they play Flip Cup. Now Jasmina and Michael team up with Noy and Steve, which I thought was a smart decision. And then they put Katina and Mark and Lindsey and O together. So they start off with the game of Flip Cup, and Mark can't flip a cup to save his life. We learn. And basically they named themselves, what was it? The Grave Diggers and the
the Grave Diggers and the Undertakers.
And the Undertaker.
So Jasmina and Michael's team was the Grave Diggers. And they won that round.
They won. And yes, they did win that round. But then they jumped over to kickball, and Noy just eats the dirt out the gate.
Yes, she did.
Poor baby. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. That wasn't Noy. Not wrong scene. So no, kickball. And you know, basically.
I think it was Noy.
No, she did that in dodgeball. So, So yeah, basically the Undertakers win that round. It was super cute because Jasmina was like, you know, I feel like I'm not really adding anything to the team. And Michael's no, you're good doing what you're doing. You just being here, being of support. And then she's like, oh, so you're the one that stopped doing shit. That's what you mean. And I was like, I just love their dynamic. It's so cute. We see the Undertakers win that round and they jump over to kickball. And this is when Noy eats dirt. Noy eats dirt.
That's all right, because Steve made up for it, because Steve was kicking everybody's ass. He was throwing them balls. He was getting people out. He was Katina on her ass.
Right.
And knocked her on her ass.
And it looked very competitive. They looked like they had a lot of fun. And I was like, damn, I need to go play some dodgeball.
Needless to say, Grave Diggers won that round, which is apparently Mike and Jasmina's team, and they are the most competitive team there, according to Mark and Lindsey.
Of course.
Everybody's sitting around for dinner. It looks like they have pizza. I'm not gonna lie, that pizza looked good as shit. And I don't know if it's because I'm drinking and bitch is hungry. I don't know, but it looked good as fuck. Okay.
It looked delicious.
Delicious. So Jasmine and Michael, they have matching t-shirts on again.
Right.
It's like avocados. So it says better half, just like they did. What was the other shirts?
I'm boss. And then it was like I'm the real boss.
They are giving real couple energy. Like I'm
telling you, and I'm here for it.
Real newlywed couple energy. What'd you say? Black love?
Black love.
So they tell the crew that they want to play a game called Most Likely. And whoever has the most likelies loses.
Can I just say that I feel as if They should have known from the never have I ever that this wasn't going to go well.
So the first question.
Once Olajuwon said, have you ever been with somebody and their mama? That should have let you know that you probably shouldn't play games like this with this group of people.
So the first question was, who is most likely to have cosmetic surgery?
Lindsey said, she volunteers it.
Actually wouldn't have said Noi. But Noi even said herself. So
she's like, yeah, I'm vain. Yes.
The next question was, who's most likely to be the best liar? The group, well, first of all, no. Well, in the group. And then Steve and Noi actually picked each other. I don't know what the fuck that was about. But then general consensus was Jasmina. And Jasmina's like, hold up. Okay, I ain't no liar. I don't lie. But if I need to, I can be very convincing. So I can see why the fuck y'all got that. And right?
And Michael's looking at her like, so but you a whole liar.
He's like, I should be worried. Like, I should be a little afraid. Then it was, who is the most likely to spend the most money on their partner? General consensus was Lindsey, but Mark feels like it's himself.
And general consensus was Lindsey. O also said that he would probably. It was also Steve and O said. Oh,
I think O said himself.
Yeah, and then Steve agreed with him, and then everybody else basically said Lindsey. And then Mark felt the need to speak up for himself and say no.
He said himself, and Lindsey was just laughing, like, is this a joke?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't laughing. I was cackling.
Yeah, it was.
It was like she might as well got on the floor and started rolling to like show how serious, how unserious she thought that statement was.
And he's like, well, I mean, if you needed me to buy something, I would buy it, which is really not what that question meant. So he was way off. But this is the shit I'm talking about, where she makes jokes or she's joking, and because she's laughing, it makes it funny and it's a joke, and you should be able to take it and accept it, and we should be able to move past that shit, even though it's in front of every fucking body and it's fucking embarrassing.
Right.
But you can't even accept the fact that he said that you're, what was it? Hyper. Which you are. It's the fucking truth. Then it was, who is most likely to be a stay-at-home parent? And Noi, she chooses herself and says that she would like to raise her kids. So then Lindsey chimes in. This is what happens when Lindsey drinks, okay, and how she upsets the group. She says, so are you saying that working moms don't raise their kids? Like, so you're okay with the one income family, one income household? Because I'm a 2-income household type of bitch. Asked you, bitch. This is where you just need to keep your fucking mouth shut. It's none of your fucking business. Are you trying to marry her? So then she says, well, I guess Noi says, if Steve makes enough money, like she would love that. And Lindsey says, oh, well, I mean, this isn't a confessional. She ain't said this to her. She ain't too stupid. She was like, well, Lindsey says that Steve has no income, a jobless husband, and a stay-at-home mom. Good luck. First of all, bitch, he's not your husband. You don't know what the fuck he got.
And this is where I start to dislike Lindsey, because you're doing all this talk in the confessional, and even against your own husband, it's like you're putting yourself on this pedestal. Your life is so together. And if it is, then why are you on this show, Lindsey?
That part. Lindsey then says that Mark would be the stay-at-home parent because someone has to bring home the bacon, and it would be her, and he would be the one cooking it. Shot number 2.
Right.
Okay. So then it was, who is most likely to lie to their friends about their relationship and their sex? Says Lindsey. And Jasmina asks why. And Lindsey says, because I say that he's good. I say that it's good. Crickets, y'all. Awkward fucking silence. Shut up.
Yeah,
Okay?
that was wrong of her.
Basically, she says that he is selfish in bed. Why is that our business to know? Why? Fuck. You know what? Okay, I can understand if he was telling us in a confessional, right? Why are you telling that to the friends that he hangs out with, that he sees every day? Oh yeah, I lie about the fact that he's good in bed and he's
That was
selfish in
really
bed.
disrespectful.
Everything she said was disrespectful. But it's a fucking problem when this nigga calls you fucking hyper.
Right.
The fuck? So then the question was, who is most likely to start a fight? We know who the fucking general consensus was there. Lindsey. And Lindsey wants to know why. Jasmina speaks up and says, well, I know of certain things that, have started because of things you said. And of course, motherfucking Steve messy ass gonna say what? Oh, like the airplane?
Yes, that was messy. I was like, damn, Steve, not the airplane.
You know what, Steve? I ain't gonna lie, Steve. You be saying the right shit. You don't be lying about shit. Like even the little shit you said to Noah, you be saying the right shit, nigga. But let me tell you something. You ready to fight, homie. You gotta be ready to fight when you say shit like that because that's what you call fighting words. Them there's fighting words. Okay, it's the truth, but them there's fighting words. And apparently Lindsey got her motherfucking feelings. He's like, yo, I didn't mean to offend you, but you did. Mark clearly felt awkward as fuck. Like, Lindsey's in her feelings. She's drunk as fuck, clearly. Mark feels awkward. You can see it all over his face. And then we catch Mark off by himself, and Lindsey comes up to him and she's like, so did you join production, like, to leave me alone?
Right.
We're gonna start to fight. I think they were onto something, Lindsey. So then Mark, tries to calm her down and she just walks off. Mark, Jesus Christ.
Michael
is basically trying to figure out what's going on. He's like,
he's like trying to
they are so up and down, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And basically, he says like they were trying to build a fire and they grabbed logs and he grabbed her kerosene and she got pissed the fuck off. She flipped out about him grabbing her kerosene and was like, he crossed her boundaries. I'm confused. Apparently she grabbed his arm, and we know that Mark does not like this. She grabbed his arm while they were arguing, and he's like, yo, like, let's not do that. And she tells him to fuck off. I don't know. Mark gives me like maybe he was kind of like in an abusive relationship or something before, because the grabbing of the arm or the touching while
it just really bothers, especially when
it bothers him when they're heated. It bothers him when they're heated. And Mark basically says like they fight like this often. Then Lindsey comes downstairs. I guess she gets a little whiff of what's going on, and she's like, I'm driving the fuck home. Like, fuck this shit. And Michael tells him that he feels like it can't be about the kerosene. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's got to be something else. Like, I think you need to go talk to her, ask her, like, really what is going on, like, what the real deal is. And Mark feels like, it has something to do with the game that they play. There's no way that it's just about the kerosene. So he goes in the room, gets in the bed with Lindsey. I thought she was asleep, but then she starts crying. I don't know if that was an act, but here, because I know she talks to Elijah one. I'm confused with that shit.
Oh, so then Lindsey talks to, apparently Mark comes back in. He gets in bed with her. I think he was just going to try to go to sleep. That's what it looked like. But Lindsey clearly is still awake. As he gets in bed and she's crying, and he's like, well, why are you crying? And she says, well, I just finished talking to Olajuwon, and he was telling me that basically he saw the hurt in your face based off of what I was saying. And basically just take time to think about that. And she was just saying how she could understand that, but also understand that she doesn't know how to honor Mark and still honor herself. So she doesn't know how to, she feels if she doesn't disrespect him and she holds her tongue, then she's somehow dishonoring herself by not saying what she wants to get off her chest. That's what that gave me. That's honestly what that gave me. That scene gave me, is that, and she feels like she can't do it anymore, because if she can't be herself and act like ape shit crazy, and he accepted, that's not going to be good for her. She's not honoring herself.
What I don't understand is why you can't get off your chest, everything off your chest, what you want to say when you're sober and when you're calm and when you're not in a group of people and not saying it in a disrespectful way. And actually, I've actually seen her do it. She said what she wanted to say, and I felt like she got across her point, but you still choose to do it. I mean, I'm sure she got off her chest because she seems pretty good at communicating when she's sober. But you choose to do it also when you've been drinking and in a group of people, and you come off super disrespectful. Let me say something. I can understand Mark if he wanted to walk away. Lindsey wakes up, I think she said like about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. She was not feeling well. She believes she ate something she wasn't supposed to eat, that maybe she was allergic to. And Mark is taking her to the urgent care. She's very thankful. She's very happy that he's doing this.
Asshole the night before.
Exactly. I think she feels bad that she was being an asshole the night before. And apparently, Jasmine lets us know that Lindsey was supposed to make some Italian dish, but she's going to take over the kitchen because Lindsey ain't there.
Right.
And Michael says he's going to supervise. And Jasmine's like, yeah, all right, homie.
As he breaks his pasta.
This is why this is dead. I was just going, as he breaks his motherfucking pasta. Yes. So Michael says, this is the last time that, everybody's going to get together. And
it was a real sentimental moment.
Yeah, like he's taking it all in because they literally have less than 2 weeks before decision day. So,
and we don't know if all these couples is going to be back together.
Basically. Jasmina asked a very good question. Actually, she asked Steve and Noy, do they feel pressure to stay together since they're looked at as the paradise couple? I don't think they really answered the question. But Noy says, they're not there, but she would like them to be before decision day. And Steve says, there's different levels of trust, and it's constantly fluctuating. And basically he's saying he trusts her with certain things, like his emotions, and he expects her not to run off in the middle of the night with all his shit. Right. But he doesn't trust her with everything. Katina says,
it was a little like, really? Like, you don't trust me? But it's like, yeah, bitch, you're a little finicky.
You're surprised that he said with his emotions, because bitch, I told you my emotions and you basically didn't give a fuck about them. So I'm actually surprised by that comment, actually. So then Katina says, she feels like they need to have deeper conversations. And Olajuwon says that they do, but it can get ugly. I think Olajuwon is the way you communicate.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part
because I feel like Katina can actually
have a conversation and not
have a conversation. Exactly. And then not, get nasty. It's just the way you come across, and really the times that you pick, quite honestly. So Michael feels like after
want to do he takes it differently. If it doesn't line up with what he wants to do, it's the misogyny of it all. But go ahead.
So Michael says that after meeting with the medium, he really felt like Jasmina cared for him. Which brings Jasmina to tears.
I thought this was such a cute moment. I was about to be over.
I don't know if we've ever seen Jasmina in tears. Have we seen Jasmina in tears? I didn't think so either. But it made him feel like she was really looking out for him. And I really love this moment. So if y'all have been watching this from the beginning, I've said that they're my favorite couple. I want them to work. I really like them. And I am seeing them grow. I am seeing them blossom.
They were literally sitting there holding hands the whole time. It was so beautiful.
My only issue is Jasmina's words are not matching up with what I'm seeing.
Right.
Okay. And I need that to happen. Okay. I don't know if she's just trying to shock us or what. Shock factor, I don't know. But cut it out. Cut it the fuck out. Okay. He says that he didn't even realize how much he trusted her, and he's never seen like this compassionate side of her. Like he's never seen it before. So this is super dope. I fucking love them. Then we cut to Lindsey in urgent care. Apparently she's been asleep for 45 minutes. She's plugged up to an IV, getting fluids in her system. And she wakes up about 30 minutes after we see that, and she's happy. She's happy as shit. She's feeling better. She got her man there with her.
Right.
He ain't mad at her after the bullshit she pulled the night before. So, she's doing good. Then all the couples are leaving Vermont to head back to Boston. Elijah says he is not excited to get back because, back to reality. Right. They have less than 2 weeks. He has to decide what he wants to do for decision day. And Steve wants to have a conversation about their living situation post decision day while they are in the car. Let me tell you something, Steve. I had to make sure a bitch can't leave when he want to have
right. When he want to talk to you, he want to talk to you, and you can't go unless you just go jump out on a highway.
Or just ignore his ass the entire time, like for real, because we gonna talk about it in front of your friends. We're gonna talk about it in his car, but we're gonna talk about it. But you won't be able to go nowhere, okay? And basically, Noi lets him know like she hasn't fully processed saying goodbye to the life she had before she was married, and she says that I guess her past relationship, she gave up everything. She moved to the other side of the country to be with this person and gave up everything. So everything she has now, she kind of had to rebuild, and it's her own, something she can call her own. She's never had a place of her own. So now the place that she has, is very emotional for her to lose it. And I think, Steve empathizes with her, but he's concerned that, she's not taking the marriage seriously. And for the first time, Noi has actually admitted that she is scared. And I think that's what a lot of that bullshit that she's doing, that she's talking is something you signed up for. This is not just some dude that you met and, he proposed to you a month later and he's like, hey, marry me and move in with me. This is something you signed up for. You had to know this was coming. So if you are mentally prepared to do it back then, I don't know why you would have signed up for it. So it does give the impression that you're not taking the marriage or the process seriously.
Hi, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Another review of Married at First Sight. We're on episode 14, and it's going to get even crazier next week. We only got 2 weeks, so we're winding down. This is like
I feel like their 2 weeks is like our 4.
Right. Maybe 6, depending on how.
Right, they cut that shit up. They put 3 days.
Yes, again, look, if y'all gonna do that, I'm gonna need you to take it down from an hour and almost 30 minutes and at least put it into 40-minute episodes. Then I could deal with the longer. But y'all being real 90-day right now. That's all I'm saying. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please make sure that you like,
you comment,
you subscribe,
and you hit the notification bell.
And yes, we will catch you next week for another review of Married at First Sight because it's still going on. And we're going to see if people still going to be married. All right. Good night, guys. Love you.
Front, back,
side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!